Hello, welcome to TeaFairy Storytime. And I figured while I still have the set up and the cameras up, that I would do a couple more stories. This story is called Fairy Dusters and Blazing Stars Exploring Wildflowers with Children by Suzanne M. Samson, illustrated by Preston Neel. And this was not sent to me by the author, but it's still a beautiful book and I wanted to share it. Fairy dusters and blazing stars, because it's about fairies. And everybody knows I'm a fairy. This book was copyrighted in 1994. And you can see the ISBN number here. It's for Dave in memory of Maximum Strider. I don't know what that means necessarily, but beautiful picture of flowers. That's the other thing I really love about this book is the illustrations are just gorgeous. In North America, if you were to hike along streams, across the foothills and mountains, through meadows, forests, and deserts, you might see fairy lanterns lighting your way. You see the fairy lanterns? And there's a fairy guy, and there's a fairy, and these daffodils. They're either daffodils or they are, what are those called? Narcissus. Grinning monkey flowers out to play. Or bright red skyrockets blasting off. Or sneeweed beginning to sneeze and cough. Fire-breathing snapdragons having fun. Or Labrador tea being sipped in the sun. Oh, look. I think that's the name of these flowers. Mule's ears drooping in the heat. Or candy sticks licked for a special treat. Mexican hats providing shade. That's these flowers here. Angel trumpets leading a parade. See the angel trumpets? Pussy paws pointing everywhere. See the pussy paws? Popcorn exploding into the air. These flowers are called popcorn. Ghost flowers vanishing from sight. These are the ghost flowers right here. Or blazing stars shining ever so bright. See the blazing stars? Elephant heads peeking at you. Look, they actually look like elephant heads. Lady slippers being stepped into. These are the lady slippers. And see this lady's putting one on her foot. It's a fairy lady. Venus flytraps capturing flies. Turtlebacks wearing a cute disguise. Paintbrushes painting here and there. These are actually called Indian paintbrushes. They grow in Montana where I grew up. Fairy dusters dusting everywhere. Look at, see all the little fairy dusters? That's what these things are called. Lizard tails bent toward the ground. See the lizard tails? Baby blue eyes sparkling all around. See the baby blue eyes? Steers' heads staring off into space. That's this flower right there. Firecrackers bursting all over the place. This is the firecracker flower. An Indian blanket on the ground. See the Indian blanket flowers? Fairy bells producing a pleasant sound. There's fairy bells. or Indian pipe being smoked alone. These things look like they're kind of invisible when you actually find them. You can find them here in Humboldt County even. A jack in the pulpit observing his home. Oh, these are cool. Look at that long flower. Chinese houses in wind and showers. That's these flowers right here, Chinese houses. Shooting stars celebrating your discovery of wildflowers. And these are called shooting stars. And then the back of the book tells a little bit about all of the different flowers, which I'm not going to read the whole thing. But if you go and get a copy of this book from the bookstore or Amazon or the library, you can sit and read all about these flowers, each and every one of them. And it has references in the back. One of the references is a really good one, the Audubon Society Pocket Guide, Familiar Flowers of North America, and the Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Wildflowers, and the Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Wildflowers, the Eastern region and the Western region. And then there's all kinds of other books about wildflowers as well. So you can get lots of books about wildflowers. I'll try to put that there so that you can find all of those books. And again, this was called Fairy Dusters and Blazing Stars. And on the back cover it says, "Look closely. Do you see tiny elephant heads bobbing in the breeze? Firecrackers bursting beneath your feet? A little man preaching from his pulpit in the forest? If so, you've just begun to learn about wildflowers and how their common names help us to identify them in the wild. In Fairy Dusters and Blazing Stars, a school teacher and an artist use whimsy and imagination to teach you about 30 different wildflowers and where you might find them." So it turns out that Suzanne M. Samson is a teacher, and illustrated by Preston Neel. Obviously, he's an artist. It's interesting to find out that Suzanne is a teacher, though. I wish there had been a page about the author. But there's not. What a fun book. All right, one more story, guys. Actually, I'm going to do that in a separate video. All right, stick with me.